Video tonight. It's a little more serious, but it's going to connect. But you've got to let it connect. You've got to let it become a part. I don't normally ask you to be quiet during the movies. I usually just let you talk. I usually let you watch it and laugh. But this isn't funny. It's kind of a serious one tonight. It's cool. But I want you to look at this video and see if you see yourself in any of this. Tonight and for the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about a new topic. It's called definition. How many of you have ever used one of these before? Either online or had to do it for school. Well, for the next couple weeks, we're going to be talking about definitions. So, in order to talk about definitions, I brought along my trusty every single word you can ever imagine. They try to get everything, and every single one they have has a certain topic, has a certain definition to it. So I thought it'd be kind of interesting to look up the word definition. So I'm going to read to you the definitions for definitions and kind of tell you a little bit about it. It's kind of funny when I was reading it. But the best one I found for it is the word for definition is the act of defining or making a definite or distinct, making definite, distinct, or clear. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You are defined. You're defined by what you, not just what you wear, like in that video. It gave you some ideas, but you're defined by what you see, where you live, how much money you have. Every bit of it explains you. And no matter how hard you try to do it, no matter how hard you try to get away from it, the most interesting thing is that most people don't realize that if you see people, they're like, I don't want to let the world define me. I'm not going to let anybody define me. There is no definition for me. I can be anything I want. There's no definition. You know what's so funny about that? There's a definition for that. And no matter what, you're going to have a definition about yourself. No matter what you do, where you go, there's going to be something that talk about that. For the next couple weeks, we're going to talk about how the world defines us and how God says we should be defined. Now, I know it sounds like school, and I know it sounds like a big vocabulary lesson, and it sounds like something you're not normally used to. Or you're normally used to, let me say that. But God gave us some interesting ways to look at it. God gave us some interesting quotes in the Bible. He gave us so much. And tonight, it's just an intro to work around for the next 3 weeks, and you come in here and you listen to what God has to say on both sides of it. You'll walk out of here 3 weeks another person. You'll walk out of here thinking, you know what, I thought I was this way, but that's not what I am. When you say, what's the definition of you? What's the definition of yourself? You think it's the clothes I wear, but it's not just that. It's not just that. It's the things you do. It's the things you see. It's the things you talk about. So one of the big key ones that had definition about himself is Jesus. He even read it out. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man gets to the Father except through me. Right? Okay. Does that not sound like a definition? Jesus, the way, the truth, the life. Nobody gets to God except through Him. And the definition of Jesus. So many people try to say, if they ask you who Jesus is, and you can't define Him. You said, Jesus was the Messiah. He was that too. Jesus was my Savior. Jesus is my Savior. Jesus died on the cross. There's definitions, but Jesus Himself gave a specific definition. But He's not the only one. You think we always revert to Jesus. There's other people in the Bible. Look at David. Somebody tell me, I'm going to give you a chance to respond. What was David? What was the line that David had? What is David's definition? Yes. Shepherd. He was brave. He was a shepherd. But I'm saying there was a definition made for David in the Bible. Yes. No. He was a king. That's part of the definition. David, there you go, Dustin. She's salty. Go ahead. David was a man after God's own heart. So if you look up David in the Bible, in the back of it, looks like a dictionary. If you have David in the dictionary, it says a man after God's own heart. If you looked up Jeff in the dictionary, let's just say there was a dictionary with Jeff in it. It had me in it.
Middle school youth?
It would say, middle school youth pastor, another man after God's own heart. So, And He is not the way, the truth, and the life. And nobody can get to the Father through Him. But there's a definition of me. But it's not just a spiritual definition. There's a definition of Jeff that says Jeff likes to work out. Jeff likes to go on the internet. Jeff likes to have fun. Every bit of that is a part of this long definition that defines me. So no matter how off you think you can be, no matter how far away you think you go, you're always going to be defined by who you are. And I know as middle school, let me tell you something. This is the cool part about it. As middle school, we'll talk about this more next week, but as middle school, y'all are at a unique point because y'all are at a point where you're trying to figure out what your definition is. Figure out exactly what your definition is. Who you are inside. And the cool part about being the age you are is you can try on so many different definitions. You can try on so many different things. You could be this one week, and you could be prep one week and golf the next. You can be dressed up one week till the night you find out the definition of yourself. You're going to come to that point where you realize this is who I am. And over the next 2 weeks, we're going to learn that. We're going to define, you're going to be able to leave here in 2 weeks and hopefully define a little bit of who you are and find out a little bit about yourself. And it's okay. You know what? I'm going to tell you a little secret. I'm going to kind of talk about it more probably next week on the world. But if you look up a word in the dictionary, it has more than one definition. Some words have multiple. There's more to that word. There's more to that word. But there's also bad stuff about your definition. There's things in your life that you do that define who you are that nobody knows about. It's in the small, fine print of your definition, but it's there. And even as middle school, trying to find it, there's still a small, fine print that nobody can read, but you know it's there on the inside. And learn to figure out what you're doing through God. You can walk out of here and just be amazed. Your life will get better. Things will change because you're realizing who you are inside. You're starting to learn that. I think it's great. I think middle school is the best age to be. I think being 6th, 7th, 8th grade was probably the best time for me. Except but when I was in middle school, I was in the band. I played the trombone. I went to the band stuff. I did that. Went to Cass. I went to Cass Middle. But I was a band there. But I will say I was semi-popular. I had friends. We had a good time. But you know what? Do I? Yeah, I'm telling you guys, I would wake up in the morning and look in my closet. This is going to sound like a girl, but I was in middle school. Could not figure out what I wanted to wear because I had some clothes. Guys, and you know you do it too. And some of y'all don't care. Some of y'all just put on a t-shirt and a pair of shorts and walk out the door. Some of y'all care about what you wear. And you open up the closet and you think, you know what, am I going to look good in this? And girls, I know you do. Am I going to look good in this today? Am I going to look good in that? What definition was and who I was? I was working on finding my definition. And that's what we're going to talk about next few weeks. So let me tell you another cool part. I'm going to give you another little secret. Do you know the best way to define yourself? The best way to define yourself? Your normal and healthy condition. That's what the definition of yourself is if you look at the dictionary.